Hey everybody, welcome back to the Driveway Engineer. I'm JR, that's Coconut. She's listening in, so don't mind her. If you guys have been long time watchers of the channel, you remember when I made these mods to my cherry picker. They're just normal 6-inch pneumatic casters that I think I got them at Menards, my local home improvement store. You can get them at Home Depot too. Harbor Freight sells them. They're like 17 bucks a piece, and it made it so I could roll the cherry picker around on this surface. They've been on here for about a year now, and they're working pretty good. I have a few regrets. Number one is that all of them swivel, and that makes it kind of hard to manage sometimes, and it makes it hard to put the legs up and down. And when I want to put the legs up, the back wheels, it wants to wobble because you tilt it like this, and then the legs want to shoot out from under you. And it just kind of sucks in general for that. When you're actually rolling it up under Marv and lifting stuff up, it works fine. It works great. It can be a chore to get those to swivel around, though. You have to like go around and kick them. My cherry picker doesn't have the handle. Some of them have like a cross handle on them to make it easier to wrestle them around. Mine doesn't have that. It's the cheapest model Harbor Freight makes. I think it's like 7 years old at this point. It's had a new cylinder put on it once already. So I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about making some improvements to it because I was going to use it today. And what I would really like, what I've had in my mind for a while, is to make make my wheel horse a little wrecker. We have a wagon that we got for it. My wife got a wagon for it. And I thought about using that, but I don't want to mess with my wife's wagon and listen to her bitch about it and be all upset about it. Plus, it'll probably beat it up. But that is a way to go because we got that wagon for like 75 bucks. So I could easily get another wagon for 75 bucks. We found a bunch of them for $50 to $100 on Marketplace when we bought that one. It's right outside the back door. I don't feel like getting up and going to look at it right now. But, so that's an option in the back of my mind for a low buck. I think those wagons are rated to haul like 1,000 pounds. Which would be more than sufficient for what I'm doing here. So what I would do with that is I would take this boom off and I would just drill the floor of the wagon for it, take the sides off. I guess I will walk you over here and take a look at it. Some of them have sides, some of them don't. I'm sure you've seen these little yard cart deals. You can just bolt it right to the floor. This one happens to dump. It's pretty nice. That sand's going up, dirt's going up front. But that's an option in the back of my mind. But right now I'm kind of trying to think of what can I do today with stuff I have. And here in my scrap pile, this is a 14 gauge piece of steel. It will never hold up whenever you back up with a load. But this is a 3/16 piece of steel. And it's left over from when I made the bumper for Clifford. These garden tractors have little hitches on them. Mine happens to not. Mine's a C170, I think. It's like one model below C175. So it's 12 horsepower motor. One model above actually had a hydraulic 3-point hitch, the C180. Mine's a C190. But it's more than powerful enough to, it's got hydraulics. That plow is hydraulic. So I could potentially tie into it to run a ram. I'm not going to, not necessary. But it should be more than powerful enough to move. Like it pushed a whole, ram's blocked. It pushed a whole Dodge Ram across the yard. It can definitely tote this thing around. So I think that what I'm going to do is take my dogs home because they don't need to be here when I'm doing all that welding and cutting. But this actually lines up pretty nice, the receiver stock that I put on it before. If you're a long time you'll remember I had this mounted on the hitch of my 2500 and that worked awesome. But I don't really want to bang engines into the back of that truck. So anyway, I'm thinking I'll cut that piece up, weld it to this receiver stock, drop a pin in it, and see how that goes. So I'm going to take these dogs home, even though it's going to bum them out, and come back and probably cut that on the plasma, because, you know, I have it. But not like you would have to do that if you're following along at home. You can do it with a grinder. But yeah, I'm going to cut this, I don't know, probably 2 foot. Probably cut 2 foot of it off and round the edges so I don't kill myself on the sharp corners. And go from there. So I'll bring you guys back when I have that cut and ready to weld on. Alright, I'm going to do this just quick and dirty. Fusion 360. I've shown you guys how to make a sketch. 24 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, with a 1.015 hole. Run it through sheet cam, run the post processor. From there we go into fire control. We load up Hitchy McHitch face. There we go. We got this ready to go. We got the plasma ready to go up there. We will dry run this bitch and give it a whirl, see what it comes up with. Looks like it's going to do the hole first. I think that might be too fast, but we will see. It's probably going to work. Alright, it didn't run off the edge of the part. We can stop this. Close. Reset it. And where's my glasses? Blow my face off, hopefully not. See what happens here. I might need to do this with the torch height control off, we'll see. Yep. I've been having problems with my torch height control, so it works fine for me when I just turn it off though. That hole is probably too large. I guess I should have measured it. Alright, so that cut out fine. I did make that hole too big. I figured it should be 3/4. I was probably right. I don't think this is going to be sturdy enough for real, but I can just gusset it or brace it. I have plenty more steel where that came from. I'm going to go ahead and tack it in, and then I'm actually missing pins from the legs. I've kind of held off on spending any money until I know whether or not this works or how it works or what I need to change. So I'm going to throw a few tacks on that, nothing serious, and drop a pin in there, and we'll see if I can pull it forward and backwards without it flipping over or going kittywampus. So we'll be right back. Alright, I threw a few little tacks on it, and I don't know, flawless execution, right? I'll go for a ride, see what happens. Let's we do that, sort of. Apart immediately. Try again. I'm going to try again with a piece of braided hose. I think already that what's most likely to happen is it's going to crab walk uncontrollably. But we'll see. Alright, that obviously went very wrong very quickly. However, this held together. Worked fine. I don't really know what to do about that. I don't know if I want to weld those up solid yet or not. I don't know if I want to commit that much. Why the hell not? Let's give it a whirl. So I'm going to shove these back up here. All right. So yeah. I'll cut a couple little pieces of strap and run them from the plate down to the side and see if we can't straighten that wheel out, and we'll go from there and try again. Thanks, mate. I already took a lap around the yard 400. I lost the leg because just a screwdriver was holding it in, but it works great. Let's go for a little ride. Let me flip you guys around. All right, so I'm going to leave this here where I lost my leg. I'm going to go get some pins, and obviously I need to brace this up, which realistically means I'm not going to do anything till it falls off. But that was a trip, and I talked with a buddy, Tony, earlier, and I mentioned that I wish mine weren't swivels in the front, or I said I wish that they'd only swiveled in the front, and he said he was going to leave his this way. So it looks like you were right, Tony. Yeah, it's mint. I will bring you guys back and show you what it looks like with pins in it and done correctly. I'm probably not going to brace that until it actually fails. I'd love to tell you that I'm going to put another leg on each one of these, but I'm probably not going to do that either until it fails. So, but I'll come back and show you guys the finished product. Final product. That's a 3/4 inch, 4.5 inch long pin from Tractor Supply. That's also a 3 1/4 or 3/4, 4.5 inch pin. This is the E4OD and Borg-Warner or whatever from Marv. I'd estimate this combo weighs probably 600 pounds-ish. Wheeled it around without much of a problem. I set it down on the legs. I think I might actually build a shelf to set things on so that it can be more of a cart. The problem with the shelf is, like, I had to drag this up in between the legs and then pick it up and put it on the legs. So we'll see. I might just make something that can drop on and sit there, you know, with just a little lip, piece of angle iron. In order for this to work, though, on the track, and this will work on, you don't have to have, you know, nowadays that's what they would call a subcompact tractor, but it would work fine on a lawnmower. It doesn't matter. Anything you can drop a pin in. Those wheels have to be fixed, though, and you can save money and time and effort by just starting out with them fixed in the first place. But I had all 4 swivels, and really for the Harbor Freight mod in the beginning, in the first place, I would probably just start with 2 fixed and 2 swivel. And I would definitely have some kind of way back here to manhandle it, some leverage. It can be real problematic, but yeah. 600 pounds. I pulled it out that way and around, backed it in here. It backs up more or less like a trailer. You gotta go real slow because those front tires don't really want to swivel, but there's not a lot of weight on them when it's loaded, so they're not too much of a problem. The problem with that tractor is it's hydrostatic, and you have you actually make it go forward and backwards with a throttle. So like I'm trying to steer, you need 3 hands. Or if you're a YouTuber, you should probably invest in tripods, which maybe I will. It kind of depends on you guys. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty awesome. I need to go pick my input shaft up off the ground where I left it before I forget about it. But I thank you guys for watching. Oh yeah, somebody was playing baseball and blew my window out, and somebody's gonna pay. But that's the story for another time. I thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on The Driveway Engineer. Thanks, guys.